I want to ask this of Wendy, and you can chime in as well. I've got a niece who just graduated and has her first job, first classroom in Long Beach, and is fired up and ready to go. And you've got 100 plus TFA core members out there. It's a tough problem. It takes so much perseverance and energy and patience. What do you tell them to keep on going out there? Why do they have to do this? What not have to? Why would they want to? And what advice would you give them as they start their careers?
Well, you're so right that it's just, and I'm sure you've heard this from the generations of Teach for America core members who you know and who've come before. It's hard to describe at the front end how challenging it is. I guess my biggest thought and piece of advice is it's very challenging to be a first-year teacher in any context, and there's a lot that comes at you, and it's just a very, very challenging job, as anyone can attest. And I think my biggest thought is don't get caught up in all of the details of that so much so that you forget to get to know your kids. And I think when I think about the differentiator, the most fundamental differentiator of those among our teachers who are truly, like some of them putting their kids on a different life path, even as first and second year teachers, they're people who really did get to know their kids. Like they built deep relationships with their students' families, and as a result, I think developed not only a different relationship with them, but a different understanding of the stakes for their kids and a different sense of urgency about the importance of just doing whatever it takes to help ensure that their kids have the same kind of, who they realize have so much potential, have the same kind of options and choices as their peers in more privileged communities. So that's, I think, what I would say is just find a path to get to know your kids almost outside of the context of the four walls of your classroom. And I think if you do that, in and of itself will keep you going. And there's nothing to fuel the fire of perseverance like essentially falling in love with your kids and then ultimately seeing their true potential come out.